I feel like that was literally just for clout. They try to make it seem, and then I feel like that's the issue within our community. As soon as we see something, no matter what magnitude it is, we just ready to attack and tear it down.
No,
Like,
No,
all
how
the
he
time.
even
Nobody
talked
really
about his
looked at
daughter.
that. Nobody really looked at that in detail. It's a girl. Her name is Black History Educator, or something like that on Instagram. She tried to reach out to the girl, and she was just like, because she personally dislikes Dr. Umar herself. So she tried to go out of her way and DM the girl and saying, I'm sorry for whatever X, Y, and Z happened. And then she also posted the video on her page, like bringing light to it. And it was multiple people who reposted the video, multiple people who did stitches with the video and everything. The girl, Dr. Umar's daughter, reached out to her and was just like, "Oh, you just looking for clout, you old lady. Like, why are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah." And then she was just like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry because I'm a mother, and I just thought I would just bring light to your situation. I just wanted to reveal the truth or whatever, but I'll take it down." And then she deleted the video. And then Dr. Umar's daughter's like, "Why did you take the video down? Why did you delete it? Why did you delete it? Post it back up." Trying to get clout off of this woman, because this woman does have a big platform.
okay. I'm not even speaking to none of that. I am speaking to how you handle situations as such. I am speaking to the fact.
I know what you're speaking to,
Which
but I'm
part?
saying you
'Cause I'm
speaking
not
to
talking
how
about her going.
you're talking about how he's speaking out against certain things, while his
No,
backyard isn't necessarily cleaned up.
no, 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 no.
He's sending. Well, then what are you saying?
I'm saying that when everything popped off, when you made it like your daughter had a mental breakdown or something, instead of you going and calling your daughter and having a conversation, you centered her mother. And that's a problem in our community. Instead of you even sitting down with her and her mother and having a conversation, you told her to deal with her mother. That's our issue as a people. When it's a problem, it always falls back on the black woman to fix it. Everything is her fault, including if that man decides to leave and not raise his children. So I'm not speaking to that whole entire situation because that shit was a shit show. I'm speaking to the fact that you cannot uphold yourself as this upright black man that's trying to be a leader in the community and then redirect when a problem arises that very much you caused and you have just as much involvement in as the other person that created that person, and you revert back to the mother.
I can't follow no nigga.
Well, and I'll say, why not? Why is it bad for him to say, bring your mother into the situation so we can discuss the truth, as opposed to you being accusatory of my character in front of all of these people all around the world so they can try to tarnish my brand and tear me down? Let's have like an honest conversation on a Thursday about what actually happened. And you can bring all of your details and everything to the forefront, and I'll bring mine.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
As opposed to you calling me, you texted me, and even in the text messages, he said, "Is this really my daughter? Like, if this really my daughter, why is it changing the number?" He didn't believe that it was her number. Obviously, if you look at the text messages.
That's why I keep saying I didn't care about the drama. I cared on how you did not address it in a manner in which you was holding yourself
Okay,
to
but
that the level you hold other black men accountable to. You made excuses, and then he didn't say it like, "Let's have a seat with your mother." He basically told her, "Go talk to your mom," as if
No,
her
he did
mother.
say, "Let's go have a seat with your mother." He said
He
on Thursday.
said, "Let your mother," and then he basically directed all his followers to address her mother. And I was like, "Okay, now come on, my nigga. Like at the end of the day, this is an in-house issue."
Does her mother even have an Instagram?
I don't know. That's what I'm telling you. I don't care what she said. Now that I'm telling you how he handled his own child speaks volumes on his own character. How your child cloud chased off you at 20 something when she been knowing you this long, she could have already exposed a lot of stuff. If you wasn't active, if you wasn't doing nothing for her, she could have exposed all that at 12, at 13, at 14, at 15, at 16.
And that's what I'm saying. It was probably. I just don't want to take something that occurred and diminish his character or take away from
Here's a
what he's
question:
done until everything is
Why he not
explained.
married? Why is he not married?
He's explained why he's not married multiple
Why?
times. But what does marriage really mean?
But he prioritizes it. He tells everybody else what they should be doing in those regards. Like we got to pay attention to what people
Okay,
say
but
too.
he's had black children. He's not dating
Humanity. That's
white
not my
women.
point.
It would make a difference if he had a history of dating white
No,
women.
no,
He
it
doesn't have to
wouldn't.
be married all of a sudden just to save face for the black
No, it's not
community.
about. That's not
And
about. That's not what I'm
to
saying.
me, no, because you're saying why is he not married? Like that's significant.
Because you
It's really
can't
not that
preach to
significant.
someone of the value of something that you do not do. Y'all
He
ain't heard me get
doesn't
up
have
here
a
yet.
history of dating white women. He
But
would
it's
have a
not
point
about
if he
white
had a
women.
history of dating white women. He
No,
doesn't.
listen to me. That's not this conversation. I pointed out something that he preaches about in regards to marriage, in regards to family.
He
Those are two
preaches
things.
about not marrying white women and not procreating with
Okay,
white
I'm gonna say it again.
neither.
In this conversation, we are
He
talking
doesn't
about
say
Umar.
as a black man you have to have a black wife.
But
It's
oh
if
my,
you're going to have a wife, if you're going to procreate, it needs to be with the black woman.
okay. I said before I stated what I stated that in this conversation, I don't like particular things about him. He's a catch-22 for me. He will say things that are right and then he'll do some fuck shit behind it. And then I pointed out what I was talking about. I broke down what I meant by that. In these conversations, he presents himself one way and then he will do something completely opposite from what he preaches to the black community. That to me is problematic. I can't tell you to be a great
Okay,
wife.
give me what did he do that was completely opposite to what he can?
The first thing is you talk to two different black men about them being fathers and about how they show up and how it impacts the black community. And then you yourself flip that whole level of responsibility that you put on Nick Cannon and holding him accountable for showing up for his kids. And then you told your own daughter to go talk to her mother. Where is your mother? Where is her mother? Nobody's going to go look for her mother. Where is her mother at? You know, she needs to go find her mother. Like, what? What? Didn't you just preach to this man about being a father, being active in his children's life, and having a relationship with his children, and all this and the third? For you to dismiss your own daughter and basically blame her mother forever she's coming at you.
His daughter is in her 20s.
Still his daughter.
Okay, so as an adult who is cognizant of now, it would be different if she was like a 14-year-old little girl saying something and then he responded in that way. That would be different. She's an adult. She's fully cognizant of the effects it could have on his movement and everything that he's trying to do. So I feel like in that it probably wasn't the most mature response, but I feel like it was a response in protecting his platform and everything that he has. He literally said, "Let's sit down and have a conversation on Thursday." They were supposed to sit down and have a conversation on Thursday about what occurred and what's been transpiring and what's been happening. He was going to bring his details to the forefront as well. That to me doesn't discredit anything that he said or his message. I really don't care about his personal life, to be honest. I don't care about whether or not there's a school or not, because it still doesn't make his message or his efforts null and void just because of what transpired with that. Because as somebody who I'm not a monkey see monkey do type of person. I see what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. It makes sense. That's how I'm going to move. It's not going to be, oh, well, if you ain't doing it, then I don't have to do it. Or if you're doing it that way, then I can do it, do this too. Most of the people who have the people who present the best advice on what you should do are people who make mistakes. They can speak to what it looks like for you not to do something because because of the mistakes that they made. So I'm not looking at your backyard. I don't care what your backyard look like.
Now that's problematic.
That's not problematic. If you most people who tell you to do certain things, even as a parent,
But if they made a mistake,
Even as a parent, you're going to tell your children
if
to
you make a
do
mistake, are you
this.
trying to fix it, or are you just saying, "Oh well, f it all"?
I don't think that's what he's doing. I don't perceive it as that.
Listen, you can't.
It
Okay.
still doesn't. So are you saying we should just do the opposite of everything that he's presented thus far?
Yeah, see, that's
Just
where you're missing what I said. I
okay.
said that he is a
No,
catch 22 because he'll say some good things. And at the forefront of white America, he looks good. He looks like what you would want a strong black man to show up and be. Not, someone that speaks intelligently, they can direct, they can correct, and they're pro black. That looks good. But do that on the inside as well. Inside the house should be just as swept up as the outside, because that's our problem. We think that as long as it looks good for the world on the outside, we're not supposed to do the work on the inside. I am not saying that I have this huge disdain for this man. No, I think, like I said, I like the way he shows up, is particularly when he deals with white America. He shows up and makes them look stupid. It makes them feel stupid. He's very conscious of certain things. When he is trying to hold other black men accountable, that is something that has to happen within our community for us to actually be able to change anything. But the problem is when it's your turn, you can't be critiqued. You're exempt from the F stuff. You can do the F stuff and nobody can say nothing. That's not right.
until there's clarity on the situation and until we know the details and until we know what actually transpired as opposed to taking heed or taking the first thing that we saw and passing judgment based on that, I'm not looking in his backyard for nothing. I'm not looking in his
So
personal
you think his daughter's lying?
the same way as if an artist is making music. I don't look at their personal life. I'm not one of those people. I don't care what you doing because everybody got a skeleton in their closet in one way or another. Everybody's doing something that we would find adverse. We can hang on to any detail about a person and create a narrative and the reason why we shouldn't listen to their music or follow their steps or listen to what they have to say. We could do that with literally anybody. I'm looking at what you stand for, and maybe he didn't stand for that in his past. I don't know. I can't say what he did because I don't really know him. All I know is what he's been saying and that I agree with it. And I'm not letting go of that just because of a situation that transpired that I don't have full details on. Because I can call him a deadbeat if I want to. Would it be fair? No. Because all I know is how he reacted to his daughter.
So like we could praise him, but we can't hold any level of critique. So that's like I said,
I'm not saying
I
you
could
can't
go out and
critique.
I could donate $1 million to my community, right? And then I could turn around and sell kids and human traffic them in my
That
community.
is totally not the same thing.
But listen, I'm just giving you an example. But do I still get the praise for donating $1 million? What I am saying is, on both levels, I can be critiqued. On both sides, if I go out and I'm involved in my community, right, and I do everything I can to build up workspaces and different events for kids, and I want that to be done and well documented in a way that benefits our community, right? And then I turn around and I sell smugs to those same kids, does that not mean I'm not supposed to be held accountable? What I'm saying is, no one, I surely am not beyond critique. That doesn't mean that because someone addresses something I do that they hate me or they have a disdain for me. It means that they're
No,
saying,
but people have been doing that prior to that simply
yeah,
because of
with
school.
him, yeah, with
So
him for
it
sure.
was like literally the only detail that people can cling on to was the fact that the school wasn't available yet. That was it. So then, as soon as his daughter come give them, oh, he been a deadbeat, creating this entire narrative. Now everybody wants to cling on to that. He's really
What
honestly
part
had
did
a clean
I say?
plate until then. You said what happened?
What part did I tell you I had an issue with? I told you the only part I had an issue with in that whole thing was that he redirected that accountability to her mother. Everything else I don't care about. If she was in her emotions, screaming and hollering on her live and shit for hours, all that stuff, she's hurt. That's messed up. I'm not with that. I'm not here to,
I
to,
don't
to
think she was
ravel in that.
genuinely hurt.
But what I'm saying is the part that bothered me was that You had more
If
issues
y'all
telling
come
her.
up, y'all could talk. Y'all could speak.
Oh, Michelle.
Yeah,
So, do
the
you
open
think
conversation.
that that's not Umar's daughter, or what are you saying exactly?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I typically, I'm typically a chat warrior, but I feel like you and Dee were having a productive conversation. That's why I didn't interject, and I agree honestly with what she's saying, which is why I didn't jump in because I don't have a different viewpoint. I think it's okay to critique people for being. You have to be able to walk it. If you're going to be a leader, you need to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. And apparently, we do need more details, but I haven't really picked back up the Dr. Umar situation because I don't have all the details, and I just honestly right now I just don't care. But he shouldn't be crucified until all the details come out because
And
if
that's all I'm saying.
yeah, if he has an issue, if him and his, the woman of his child have an issue, and he's tried to see her prior, and there's a bunch of mess, then that's, and that comes out, then everyone's going to be apologizing. So I'm a neutral party when it comes to that because with the Dr. Umar stuff, I just don't pay attention enough to care at the moment. To be honest with you, he's not my leader. So
And I don't even think people would be apologetic is the thing. I think people would just be like, oh, okay, whatever, next. That's it. Because in this community, people, I ain't gonna put that on, criticism.
My critique is how he redirected that accountability to her mother. You can't go and hold Nick Cannon accountable for not being an active father, this, that, and the third, and then redirect that accountability with a woman you chose
Okay,
to live
so
with.
I feel like
That's
he had to because now his integrity and everything is on the line.
But who did
So
that?
he had to.
Okay, so holding a black man accountable, just a regular black man, who puts your integrity and your accountability on the line if you don't show up as a father?
Who
He
said
did
he
that to
didn't?
himself.
That's what I'm saying. He
He
may
did that
have
to
tried.
himself.
He
You
may
did that
have
to
tried.
yourself.
He may have done things,
So why does he
which
get
is the
on these?
reason
Why does
why
he
he's
get
probably saying,
humanity?
let's talk to your mother.
Why does he get on
Let's
these
bring your
lives
mother up because
and
I
tell these
actually have
men
tried to be in your
to
life.
be active
I
fathers, to
actually have
take
tried
these
to do
women to
things,
court?
and she hasn't allowed me to.
You can't advise other men to take these women to court and this, that, and the third. He been doing this shit for years. You gotta remember, Umar didn't just pop up. So that's why I said he's a catch-22 for me because he says good things and then he does the other. So for
Okay,
me,
until we know exactly what happened, I'm
but
not. I'm
this
not
is the
critiquing
thing.
it.
You're clocking one thing. I'm talking about this man for years. That's why I said he shows up for the media and he makes black men look good. I don't have a problem with that. The problem is in this conversation, you can't critique Nick Cannon.
So outside of that, what else could you say there was?
Besides him saying that black women are masculine, besides him telling black women that they should basically give a black man $700 of their income and salary to build him up without a ring.
Where did he say that, and what was the context?
He said it in one of his
Because
interviews.
a lot of people tend to take his
He
what
told
he's
them
saying out of
that
context. So
black
I would
men
just need to
choose
know what the context
non-black
is.
women because they financially support them. And he goes into this whole number thing. This man did the full math. Do you hear me? Of how much money a black woman should be giving a black man every month. I mean, Tyler Perry did the
I've
same
never seen
thing.
that,
Tyler
and
Perry
I
said
like.
something very similar. He was telling black women that they had to lower their standards and accept some brothers didn't have jobs, this, that, and the third, because we're not holding our end of the bargain in regards to making sure that black men show up as healthy individuals, not only for themselves, but for our community. And that's why when these conversations come up, accountability gets excused or it turns into us crucifying him. I don't have a problem with that man. I don't know that man personally. I have a problem with when you preach something and you don't practice it, though. That's not fair to our people to sit here and be the judge and the jury, and then when it's your turn to sit on the trial, you want to be excused and exempt. That's not fair. No leader, if you're a true leader, if you are a born leader, if you understand what a true leader is, you are the first to be judged. You are the first to take that hit because guess what? That is something that you stepped up to. You can't, if I do something, hold me accountable. I tell everybody I'm on panels with, if I say something stupid, hold me accountable. Message me, hit me up on Discord, tell me I said something fucked up. If I say something wrong, Hey,
She don't
hey,
want
ho, shut up, ho,
accountability.
shut up, ho. Get on the corner and make my money. You got that red lipstick on.
Oh my
Hold
god.
me accountable. Hold me accountable. I want to
You
know
see her
that
disrespecting
I
a
am
white woman?
walking what I talk. I want you to make sure that I am saying and doing and those things match and align. Because character means something to me. And how I show up in society and the things I do for my people are important. And if I'm sitting here saying one thing and doing something completely opposite, it doesn't mean anything in regards to what I'm doing, because it doesn't actually mean that I'm doing it out of my heart and it's actually something that is going to last. It's temporary. It's a face. It's a picture. It fades away. If I'm doing something with all honesty and I'm truly, truly, truly invested in it, then I'm going to walk it so that it continues. Nothing can destroy it. That's why I said the next leader is going to be a woman. Mark my words, it's going to be a woman, because it's going to be a black woman. Let me just say that clearly. The next leader is going to be a black woman, because black women don't mind holding the wheel. They're going to hold it, and they're going to try their best not to do things that get them crucified, because we understand that you cannot, the same way we talk about sleep white and think black. You cannot move in society one way and live your life a completely other and not want to be critiqued or judged. This is impossible. It's impossible.
Jamesy, do you have anything to say?
Umar's a hypocrite. You don't walk it like you talk it. Like that girl came out and basically cried out for you to be in her life, and you basically just turned it back on her. Or he's trying to make it seem like he's like
Let's
MLK.
not say that she came and cried out. Like, that was so disingenuous, that whole thing. And I saw what she was doing on the back end. She was bragging about the views and the numbers that she was getting off of the video and trying to charge people for interviews and all types of stuff. Like, that was obviously a clout grab.
That man basically said that his brand is more important than this, because there's no way. If you really care about the black community and the family structure, it shouldn't even be that in the first place. Why aren't you married to her mother? Why aren't you married to your other child's mother? Like, what is truly up with you? Like, I always knew he was weird in some way, but in my opinion, he's just a dude that
What are we talking about right now?
he should not be the one to have a
His
daughter.
message has never been that you have to be married.
You should be married though. The black nuclear
That
family is
has never
important.
been his message in particular, though.
But is
He
that
never
is
said you
that is
have to
that
be
not?
married.
That's what he asked every black man in the interview. That's what he asked. The first thing he asked him.
So we in our
Does
community
not say
we
that you
complain.
have to be married, though.
We in our community complain that the men aren't with the women aren't with the men. They're having children out of wedlock. They have no structure to children from a two-parent household. Why do you go and do the same thing?
He's not saying anything about having children out of wedlock or none
But
of that.
he has a child out of wedlock.
But that's not his message, though.
You have to live by your message, yo.
But it's not his message to live
If you
by.
tell me don't drink, you shouldn't drink, it's bad for you, and you turn out you're drinking every weekend at the bar, you're a hypocrite.
Give me a timestamp and an interview and give me the YouTube video or title where he has said that you shouldn't have children out of wedlock. And what was the other one? What was the other claim?
I said that it's important for the black and nuclear family. That's part of the black community.
And for you to something, whatever the other one was, I need the timestamp and I need the video.
In our community, we
I'll
should
go
not be
look
having
up,
children
and
out of
I'll go
wedlock. In
look
my
up the
opinion.
video. I'll see where he said it, and I'll concede. But you can't hold something against him that he hasn't even said.
But this is something that he done though. So do you
But it's
personally not
something
believe
that he
that?
said. I particularly don't even believe in getting married in America. I really don't. I don't feel like it's not. It doesn't really make
Okay,
sense.
that's fair. That's your opinion. But he's in Africa a lot, so why didn't he get married in Africa?
You know what? This is my thing.
Probably not African.
None of us
Like,
know him.
why
So
are we
I don't,
even
I don't
exactly?
have no critique for that. I'm telling you what my critique was. My critique isn't about how he chooses to move in
Yeah,
his
I'm
personal
just
life in
having a
regards to
conversation to
his
him.
romantic life. I'm telling you that you can't preach to one man. Like you can go look up Nick Cannon interview when he went on Nick Cannon's show. You preaching that what he should be doing in regards to his kids, and then you sat there and held that woman that you had that child with accountable for how you didn't show up for your child. That was my issue with him. And I watched all the interviews, all the recordings or whatever. I don't care about her snapping and all that stuff. That's not, if she clout chasing, that's whatever. I'm saying that his response speaks volumes on how he treated his own child. Because why would we go back to the accountability of this woman that you chose to have a child with? It takes two people to create a child.
And vice versa.
Dynamic does not add up in that regard. Do I think he a fucked up person?
Okay,
No.
so he's probably speaking for the reason I feel like he did it, and the reason why he said that he did it was because he knows that he felt as though the mother is the one that put her up to the whole entire thing. So I don't know the personality of the mom. I don't know the dynamic between them. So I can't even hold that against him for real, because sometimes that types of stuff happen.
How long do you think his daughter has had a cell phone?
You said, how long do I think his daughter has had a cell phone?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, how you said she in her 20s?
She's in her 20s. And that's my thing. His thing is, no, it's not funny because
You
of
the
that.
one laughing shit.
It
Not
doesn't.
defending that nigga. You know him personally. All I'm saying
Exactly.
is this.
I'm saying like
I
it's
told
not
you what
even-
my issue was. That's my issue with him. And like that's okay for me to critique because he's done it to other black men.
I'm speaking in regard because Jamesy was saying something about his daughter, whatever. That's what I was speaking to. But
I'm saying that her
anything
lashing
else,
out
like
on the
once it
internet.
hits the fan, what actually happened, then he can be critiqued for that. Once the details are there, I don't critique people based off of firsthand sight.
But what
I
details are
personally-
needed for you not to be in your child's life?
You said what happened?
What details are needed for you not to be in your
Who
child's life?
said he wasn't in his child's life?
So you think that girl gets got on the internet and just straight up told that lie? And she's 20 years old. She could have told this lie 10 years ago. I'm sorry, not 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
She's been calling for her dad for so long. She has the right to call. Okay, nobody. He said she had the right to call. Nobody's refuting her right to call.
See,
I
if it
think
was,
sometimes okay, but it's not even that. Like we're just assuming things because it's like we want. I mean, well, I'm not assuming nothing. I'm saying that I'm gonna wait till the details come out so I can actually have what actually transpired, as opposed to just taking her word for face value when she's clearly trying to, benefit off of the whole situation. For me, until it hits the fan that he was never in his child's life and he was never trying to be in his child's life, and the mother was trying to get him to be in the child's life and he just refused to be in the child's life, and she was just totally cooperative and whatever the case. Because I know situations where the mom has tried to get the father in the child's life and he just won't do what he's supposed to do. That's completely different. It doesn't seem like that's what it is from him. To me,
personally,
until they comes to the plate that is the case, then I can't critique nothing that he's doing. Because for me, it feels like his response to that situation was y'all really trying to tarnish my character, knowing full well what my intentions were this entire time, knowing full well I've been trying to be in your life for years, knowing full well your mother has been hiding you away from me or whatever the case may be. That's what it seems like to me. And I feel like the people, and this is why I say, I feel like people just want to cling on to something, tarnish his name, tear him down, and be like, you too self-righteous, we don't like it, and we just want to take you down now. And this is the accusation. We're just going to accept the accusation, and we're going to accept your reaction to the accusation and your response to it. We're going to take that, and we're just going to tear you down with that. I feel like we need to stop being so quick to do that. I'm not saying he wasn't wrong in a situation. I'm just saying until the details are out and there for me to be able to say, wow, you actually did this, I can't mess with you no more because this is what you actually did. I don't take nothing. Like even with the court cases that the Shade Room has been posting about certain celebrities and things like that, I don't even create a a perspective on that for real, because until you've been proven guilty, until there's been evidence to really show that you actually did these things. I know that we live in a world that tries to tear us down all the time. I'm not going to take that and be like, oh, I'm going to pass judgment just because of what the accusations are. The people get accused of things all of the time, especially when you're someone of that stature or of that level of fame or whatever the case. Accusing those types of people are the easiest thing to do because people love drama. People like to believe the heinous story, and people like to believe that they could just tear you down based off of that. So no.
Okay, so my point still stands, and I'm right. Because no matter what, nothing around that story is important. But the important thing is the same thing you held Nick Cannon accountable for is the same way I'm holding you accountable for how you responded, that it was her mother that was more responsible for any form of relationship you should be having with your daughter. And that's what I'm standing on. The other stuff, that don't got nothing to do with what I'm looking at and what I'm critiquing in regards to him. You cannot tell one man something and do the same exact thing that man is doing and act like you are exempt from it because you're Umar.
My thing is, he shouldn't have given a response on social media. I went straight to the mother. Let's talk about this. What's going on?
The
Why?
accusation was on social media, so he has to respond on
But
social
you're
media.
dealing with a child. You're already what? He's like
But
40
he's
something,
dealing with
right?
his career and his movement as well. Like, let's be realistic. If you are someone of a stature, if you have a certain level of fame and somebody attacks that in public, you're going to have to respond in public. Because if you don't respond in public, then people are just going to take it as whatever that person accused you of must be true, and they're going to take it at face value and they'll
But
run
his
with it.
response is all deflected.
That's basic PR.
Or why not just say simply, why not give a PR statement? Hey, my family's dealing with an issue right now. Please
Because
respect
that's
our
what I
privacy.
appreciated.
You
That's
need
what
to
I
simply say
actually
that.
appreciate about him. The authenticity and the way that he responds. I would prefer him be authentic in his response.
He ducked
He's
and dodged
never
the
been
question.
an authentic fake person who just like, oh, I'm gonna just say the right thing and I'm just gonna write it down and then I'm gonna read from the piece of paper. He's never been that type of person. And if he would have done that, then I would have felt like whatever she's saying is true. Because why do you feel like you need to write something down and create this professional response to what she's saying when you've never been that type of person before?
For me,
The
it's not
fact that he responded authentically and said his own words and took it at face value because he felt he knew he was right. I'm not going to take it like, oh, you should have responded this way. You should have responded the way that you responded. I don't know why people just expect everybody like, oh, you have to do a really great PR response. None of us are publicists. That's not any of our professions. So I don't even know why people be going to that. Like, oh, you should respond this way. Like, what? People are people. I'd rather you respond like a person.
Yeah, people are people. You're right about that. But this being on the internet doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help him. His case don't help her case. I'm saying keep it short, sweet, and let's figure this out. Because if you are in her life, you are being a great dad. You're not gonna sit and lie on me. I'm going right to you. Hey, what's this about? Why are you saying this? Why are
And
you
that's
letting
why
this
he
be?
probably went right to the public. You're not going to lie on me. So since you're lying on me, and since I feel like you put your daughter up to lie on me, since I feel like you put your daughter up against me to lie on me, and her being an adult, and you both being adults, I'm going to go public as well and defend myself and move on to the next thing I got going on.
But then if you
I
look at
would
the
do the same
response,
exact thing. The
if you
same
look
exact thing.
if you look at the Instagram response, it's all deflection in the Instagram response. He didn't say anything other than go ask your mom. I have an image. Oh, you're not going to be my other child until because of how you act. Like it's never anything about himself. And he didn't say nothing about caring for the child. Like this is already a sensitive topic as it is
He
when it
did
comes to
actually say stuff about caring for the
it's
child. If
already a
you watch
sensitive topic.
the live in its entirety,
It's
he
already
did.
a it's
A
already a
lot of the
sensitive
people who
topic.
have so much to say about the situation didn't even go to his page to really listen to what he had to say. And I know they didn't, because when I went to go watch the lives that he had posted on his page and where he went live, he only had 200 something comments on there. So I know most people wasn't going to his page to really genuinely see what it was that he had to
But
say.
that's the thing. Why are we doing Instagram lives? Like, we already know in our
Because
community.
why did she go public talking about me? This is this is
We
why are we even at, why is that even a question?
because
It
we
was public.
already
So of course he's going to respond in public. He
because
does Instagram lives all the time
we
about
already
everything.
know
Why would this situation be any different?
we already know a black dad not being in the child's life is
Yeah,
already a
that's the
sense. It's
narrative.
already
That's
a.
the
No,
narrative
I didn't.
everybody
I
wants to
wasn't about to.
cling to try to
You
tear him
didn't
down.
let me finish. I'm saying that's already a sensitive topic as it is. I'm not saying that. Oh, it's true. He's not a good dad. He's a bad dad. Or all black dads aren't available. I'm not saying that. It's already a sensitive topic. So why even add more fuel to the fire? Because now instead of people cheering it on, saying, "Look, go figure out your family situation," only people are waiting for is the next piece of drama. Or who's going to say something next? What's she going to say? What's he going to say? Handle your business behind the scenes.
He's never done that behind the scenes. So why would he do anything different than he already does? It's actually very expected. It was very expected that he was going to do a live and talk about it.
But this isn't a family.
That's
This isn't a everyday thing. This is your family. You may not be with the mama,
and
but
it's still in public. So he's going to respond in public. If my mom went on public and the public internet to say he's like this X, Y, and Z, but yada yada yada, I'm going to respond in public.